Welcome to another packed edition of Slamcast. We're breaking more hearts this week than Alberto Del Rio. I am your host, Brandon Liggan, joined as always by the three-man booth is in effect OG style, too. Mr. Michael Burhan is back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay! Burhan's back.
Yay! He's back! Yay!
Well,
I love the way you said it, like, yay! Like, it sounds like the most sarcastic thing ever, but I really know that you mean it. You're just too tired to...
I was selling it hard, brother, man. I'm selling it hard.
Yeah, you're trying to put less emphasis on it, you know?
Trying to feel it real strong. Nick Horaceck is on the ones and the twos, as always.
Yep.
Nick, how are you, sir?
I am good. NXT Spokane was fucking awesome.
I can imagine. I can only imagine. I saw the card you saw, and just like, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, I went in not knowing what the card was. They had, like, the posters you can buy at the merch stand. And I'm like, screw it. I'll just save my money and drink beer, which is what I was doing. $6.25 for a fucking beer. God damn it. Yeah. But go in, it's No Way Jose, Elias Sampson, or as we were calling them, the wannabe Jeff Jarrett. Like, just, that guy... Samson got booed. Like, it was not just like quiet, whatever. It was, they were booing this guy, so.
I like the Elias Sampson gimmick, but I don't know really how much length he could get out of it, like how long he could go on with this. Like, I see this being essentially the same way, what's his name was, the dread guy. I can't remember the hippie guy. God damn it, his name escapes me right now. Help me. What was the guy's name?
He has that kind of rockabilly thing going on.
Well, no, like, it's just going to be a gimmick that's going to get heat for a little while. And then...
where does it go? That's the problem. It has to organically transition into something else. And the problem being is it's not that kind of gimmick which can organically transform. Like, it's not like he loses his hair in a match and then calls everyone slap nuts. You know, it's it's something that has to position him in a main event. He's got a good body. He seems very skilled in the ring for the limited moveset that he has. But
he seems capable. Sorry, I would say very skilled, but very capable.
That's why I was actually being sarcastic there. But, you know, with the limited moveset that he has in that ring. So the thing is, I think he's either going to have to be put in a position such as the position like someone like Zayn would be put in with Shinsuke Nakamura to see if he can actually work to the point where the crowd starts respecting him as a worker. If he doesn't, because we're in a like NXT's not, I wouldn't say it's the showy kind of developmental. It's not. It's more of the place where the workers go. And you get these kids in there who are new to the industry who get placed in positions with great workers who they can pick their brains and say, okay, I've got Samoa Joe over there. Maybe I can work a program with Samoa Joe that can make me into something bigger. I do apologize. There's yelling going on in the back.
Right. It's like putting No Way Jose and Samson in a match is great, but I think it was Seattle and Portland had Samson and Nakamura.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta do stuff like that.
Again, No Way Jose, another gimmick, which is fun. I don't see it going anywhere. Same thing.
No, I see. Here's the thing: is I think that has the potential to catch on. Like, I think if you give that guy a little bit more time, he could do something to make it, you know, quirky and weird. I mean, like, I like
I kind of pigeonhole them in the same kind of category, like the same as Adam Rose with the thingy express thing that he did.
The Exotic Express. Yeah,
they're party gimmicks. They're gimmicks where people are like, oh, this is fun, let's follow along. And then eventually it dies down.
The guy's basically given a chance for a solid mid-card slot. Like, that's
but it eventually dies down, and all that's left is the person has to organically transition to something else. There's only a very few talents that I've seen organically change from their gimmicks. And I off the top of my head, Dolph Ziggler, John Morrison, if you're thinking of a few guys, Edge is another one. He kind of he
Jericho
didn't really have
definitely was able to
exactly Jericho as well.
Just morph himself to where you couldn't. It was just even again turned heel in '08 mid-sentence was boom.
And again, you've got guys. Oh, Shawn Michaels is another one. He transitioned from being like the party gimmick with the Rockers. So you have these kind of big gimmicks. Kofi Kingston is another one, kind of Jamaican Me Crazy. You had those, and they can transition into something more.
Yep.
And the problem being is you've got a lot of these talents, which, like Elias Sampson, I don't think that he can at this point, but the great thing about NXT is he's in a position to learn from the best to become something great.
Yeah.
The same goes for most of the talents on that roster.
Right, and
you got some great teams, great gimmicks. Speaking of great, you've got Enzo and Cass on the main roster. Cass, my God, Cass has grown. Like over the last couple of months, Cass has grown.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing him on NXT, and the guy could hardly put a sentence together. And now he does that kind of deadpan, comedy shtick that he's doing at the moment, and it's brilliant. I like it.
It's working. We'll talk about all that later, but let's move on. So there was some news this week.
I wanted to kind of quickly give my thoughts on the show. What I liked about it is it looks like maybe they're setting some up for Murphy to get a singles run because it's Murphy and Mojo Rawley. Like, not knowing what the card was going in was great because when Nakamura's music hit, it was just like, boom. Roof blew off the place, and just everything about that show was just fun.
I'm glad you had a great time.
Mm-hmm. 10 out of 10 would book NXT again.
I mean, it seems to be a good time for all involved.
Yeah.
Moving right along, there was some news this week. We did have some late breaking news just before we went on air with the podcast. There was a new host of the ESPYs this year, and his name is John Cena! John Cena will host the 26th annual ESPY Awards. I don't even know how many ESPY Awards there's been, but this is the first time a professional wrestler. I don't think The Rock ever hosted the ESPYs. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that's the only other person that I could ever think of that would host the ESPYs. But good for John Cena. That's a pretty big gig for someone in his position to be host a legitimate sports award show. I guess if that even makes sense. Those words. Good for John Cena. I think that's huge news, and it definitely shows the increased relationship now between the WWE and ESPN, something I thought I'd never see.
Yeah, it's definitely good for him because Cena can be legitimately entertaining when he's not doing. Well, then again, he is about bad comedy, which seems to be.
We saw. I mean, if anybody saw his stuff in Trainwreck, which I thought he was the absolute, probably one of the funniest moments of Trainwreck. Like he stole every scene he was in. Like, I want him to do more of that character or something, or I want that character to show up again in something.
Mm-hmm.
Cena is one of those guys he's got so much fanfare that this was bound to happen. Mm-hmm. He's looking at other opportunities outside of WWE, and because his career is rather limited, especially
this is his first transition to, well, not really first. Well, I would say his biggest transitionary gig to being viewed as a mainstream celebrity. He's not just a professional wrestler. He is actor. That's just what he does on the side.
Please don't call him an actor. I want to punch you every time you say that.
If you saw Trainwreck, put it this way, dude, he was fucking hilarious in Trainwreck.
He was himself.
Exactly.
I hate when someone says actor, and I'm like, no, that's John Cena. That's John Cena doing John Cena.
He started more movies than you or I have started yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, he gets paid to star in more movies than you or I have started yet.
Yeah,
exactly.
But as someone who's come from drama school, I really resent that. I find it insulting that but I'll leave my personal bias aside. But he's got a limited window, and
he's got a SAG card.
They're attempting to. I think when he decides to hang up the boots, they were attempting to transition him into kind of a guy that they can sell everywhere. You know, they'll give him a huge life outside WWE with a career outside of the WWE itself, doing loads of.
I think he'll do the reality show host thing. I think
he's got a key to that, and I think with Total Bellas coming up as well, I believe John Cena is going to be one of the anchors of that show, along with Daniel Bryan. It's going to be like the Kardashians for wrestling fans.
That was one of the reasons.
That's already Total Divas.
Yeah. It was one of the reasons why I kind of already watched it anyway, because I wanted to know what they did in their personal life. And again, John Cena is the guy I want to hang out with. Like, that's like an awesome guy.
I think Daniel Bryan's the guy I want to hang out with. He's the guy. Bryan Danielson is the guy that I want to build barn doors with.
I mean, I would go on a hike. I would definitely go on a nice hike with Bryan Danielson, but
I'd go on hikes. I would do weight training with the dude. I'll build barn doors.
Yeah,
John Cena's the kind of guy that you probably could sit at home and get wasted with.
Exactly, because that's
you sit around the house, play beer pong, and he's probably gonna win because he's John Cena.
Drink beer, watch sports.
Yeah,
his body is nothing in comparison. His body basically can digest everything and turn it into fuel for more weights. But yeah, we've seen. I think he's going to have a great career outside of the WWE, doing reality television, hosting shows, maybe even appearing sporadically on TV shows. I don't see him the same career as The Rock.
We've usually seen with the ESPY Awards, if someone does a really good job the first time around, they'll give them another shot at it, and maybe one or two.
Well, it's the same with Tonys, and stuff like that. If you usually see the same host maybe do like three tries at the Tonys before moving on to do something else. Same, the Oscars have had the same host twice.
More than one time. Billy Crystal said like 5 times or something like that.
Yeah, so it will eventually. You could see John Cena host a litany of things, and I think what he's doing, which is very smart, is John
Cena will replace Jerry Lawler as the master of ceremonies of the Hall of Fame one day. I guarantee.
Yeah, he's the guy, and I think the WWE are booking him like a talent agency. They're being his talent agency. And
I think he's got his own. I think by this time, he has his own talent agent.
He has his own agent at the side. Yeah. That's what John Cena tends to do. He has his own way of doing things. He has other people that he works with, as well as that. It's like, as an actor, actors have about 5 or 6 different agents.
Right.
They have a main agent that gets in the big gigs, and they have the smaller agent who gets in like the independent gigs and stuff. So
speaking of obscure financial news, I know that was a hell of a segue. Vince McMahon sold a roughly 2% share of his WWE stock, netting him a cool $40 million this week.
He's still the single majority stakeholder with like 49.5%.
49.112 whatever percent. I don't remember.
Whatever, it's like 49.9.5, whatever.
Exactly. He practically owns the company. That's a good amount of money. There is speculation abound on our Pro Wrestling Revolution forum that we have on Facebook, which is the exclusive home of our wrestling thoughts on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
They're just giving out new taglines every week.
It's a revolution where you go to kick it about wrestling, other stuff, and post tons of pictures of Noel Foley that will make Brandon Liggan blush.
I don't blush. I'm just like, apparently I missed the whole Noel Foley photo blitz that people were trying to get a reaction out of me. I just forgot my name in front of her once. She's a very beautiful woman. That happens.
But that's just funny. And every time you tell me that story, I just sit there and crack.
I want a second crack at it. I think if I meet her a second time, I will be able to remember my name.
Say my name. My name.
I will be able to remember it. It would be even funnier if I was meet her at the same place and she goes, "Oh, hey, yeah, I think I kind of remember you. Didn't you forget your name?" I'm like, "Yes."
My name is John Cena.
Name is Brandon. Hi, how are you? Anyway.
Hi, how are you?
There is rampant speculation about what could be the motive behind this selling off of the shares. So as one of our members described, could Vince McMahon finally be making the move to purchase TNA? To wit, I basically replied he could get it for significantly cheaper than $40 million.
Just say he got WCW for significantly cheaper.
3. He got WCW for like $3 million.
Oh no, it was 2. Jericho actually
two and a half, I think. Yeah,
Jericho said he could have bought WCW himself. If Jericho could buy it for the price that Vince got it, you know that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So
imagine what you could get TNA for. I think 500,000.
I think you get TNA for $1 million. You got to adjust for inflation. You got it for $2 million in 1998 money. That's probably like $5 million nowadays. Maybe $10 million nowadays, depending on whatever. So, yeah, I think he could probably get. He's definitely not getting $40 million. I'm letting this thought out to the ether. Setting up trust funds for grandchildren,
or probably buying a holiday home somewhere,
or probably buying a holiday home somewhere. I mean, for things that you could need $40 million on hand for. What do rich people need $40 million?
But this is the thing. It's like, what was like 2% of the company. 2% of what the company is worth.
2%
of his share.
$40 million.
$40 million. That's Brandon. We need to start a wrestling franchise and
yeah.
Oh wait,
we got to start
Dixie.
we got to start a wrestling company and try to take on Vince McMahon. Yeah, that's where the money's at.
This is the benchmark. You know, you can either go as successful as WWE or end up as shit broke as Dixie Carter, sitting there saying $20 is $20. You know, y'all.
Oh man. So we hope Vince McMahon enjoys his new G5 airplane, massive luxury yacht, or whatever it is he could have possibly bought for $40.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a Kanye West and say, Vince, I have a lot of talent. Invest in me. Invest in me. Put that $40 million to good use.
Yo,
make WWE films actually do something worthwhile.
I would mark so hard if Kanye ever showed up at a WWE event. Like, that would be, to me, like, the greatest thing in the history of wrestling at that point, I think you'd probably say. That would be bigger than Cyndi Lauper coming to WrestleMania.
Would it be bigger as having I'm Black on an Assassin's Creed trailer?
I actually like that song, actually. That's one of the few...
that song is terrible.
It's one of the few new Kanye songs that I'm like, all right, that's not as bad. But
the beat is hard, but the lyrics
sound
like...
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, that has all the stuff that I like about him, and I'm just like...
He makes himself sound like a racist on that track. I'm just saying.
He himself sounds crazy, exactly. That's what it's basically...
A crazy race. Soon Kanye West is going to be the white old guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
if Kanye
one tooth hanging out.
Yeah,
with like a bunch of cats.
If Kanye ever showed up on WWE, the amount of market that would be in my house would...
Do you think he would call a pay-per-view Summerfest? You know.
Would he flip off the camera when they show him in the crowd?
It would be Kanye Mania. You'd just call it WrestleMania. Would be Kanye Mania. That's the only event that WrestleMania that like Kanye would ever show up for would be WrestleMania.
We should have Kanye and Jay-Z versus the Road Warriors.
We're gonna Heidenreich an Animal or?
Well, we could do Animal and Hawk, but you know, then you'd have to dig up the coffin, put the strings on, have someone play Puppet Master. You know,
it would be holographic Hawk. It would have to be
holographic Hawk.
He's busted again.
Well. Do you know what I hate besides everything? That's my favorite Hawk line. So Extreme Rules is this weekend.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to this pay-per-view for one reason and one reason only. I want to see if they either do the stupidest thing in the world by turning AJ Styles heel, or they... I have no idea why I'm mispronouncing stuff today. If they turn AJ Styles heel, or they basically pull the trigger on Roman Reigns being the big nasty heel that he should be in the company,
That's the overall storyline, the will they or won't they. We'll talk about that later on, but let's start from the bottom. Start from, I guess, the bottom of the card.
You start from the bottom and make it to the top.
Yeah, go as we traditionally do.
Start with, Rusev and Kalisto?
A hippity hoppity.
I'd say so, too. I've been very surprised by this feud because I thought this was going to be another throwaway feud, but I think Rusev has done a very good job of establishing himself as a threatening heel. I mean, granted, he had to wrestle guys, has to work guys, smaller than him significantly to really show off his power again. But his work during this run has been, pretty impressive, and I wouldn't be surprised if they award him with the United States title this Sunday.
I don't think we're going to see Kalisto lose that United States Championship just yet, and this is the reason why. They're trying to bring this guy up to be the next Rey Mysterio, and they're doing it the right way. Well, the Vince McMahon way, because we know how Vince pushes people. If you're an underdog, you have to go against loads of giants, so they can feed you all these giant dudes, so you can beat them one by one, and then eventually get beaten by a conniving heel. Or you can do it like the John Cena way, where they just feed everybody to you and you just destroy them one by one and bury them for the rest of their careers. I believe that this has got to be the case where he'll get a win. He'll get like a lucky win over Rusev. Rusev's going to demand a rematch because, he believes that it was a cheap win. Then Kalisto is probably going to beat him in a blow-off match and then move on to his next opponent. I don't see Rusev winning the United States Championship. I do see him winning the Intercontinental at some point, not the United States. I think the United States Championship is going to have a solid run on Kalisto for a while. Maybe a year.
Oh, a year? You think Kalisto's going to hold the title for a year?
Yes.
Wow.
No, I think...
And this reason, and the reason being, they want the next big lucha star, and the only way they can do that is leaving it on Kalisto.
Putting the title on Kalisto for a year? Yeesh.
Yeah.
Year. I don't know if I could sit through that, man.
He's the king of pre-shows, man. That's the pre-show title.
The pre-show title is very true.
Here's what I think is going to happen. Rusev's beating Kalisto because Cena comes back on Memorial Day. So you
it'll be the Rusev Open Challenge, U.S. Open Challenge.
Or he's going to, I'll pick, whatever, and then here comes Cena, bada bing, bada boom, 1, 2, 3. We get the return of the Cena Open Challenge, which... I
think that's a great ending to that. And I like phantom title changes.
Yeah, and it's like... And it makes no sense to have Cena beat Kalisto. It makes more sense to have the big heel drop the belt to... I wouldn't mind to see if have Cena go up against Rusev again. I think that was just go back and revisit that angle again. I care again that you can't have the same payoff as Rusev coming to the ring in a tank. But
that's what I think. I think it should be the Tank versus Kalisto. Let's see who wins.
You use the Tank gimmick once, then that's it. You really
No. But if you use the Tank as a way to run over Kalisto, I think we have no issue.
Like Kalisto's like the guy at Tiananmen Square, like standing against.
Yeah, they'll be like, Kalisto, you need to put over the Tank. Okay, and he just goes underneath. The Tank's the United States champion.
By the way, I love ignorant wrestling fans that say, "Oh, Kalisto's just a Mexican who can't work." Meanwhile, Kalisto was from Chicago.
So. And Kalisto can work. He can work hard.
He's Mexican. Hold the United States title.
That dude's got moves for his moves. He's got counters for probably every move on the roster. As far as I'm concerned, if you're that ignorant and you think that Kalisto can't work, then seriously, you shouldn't be watching professional wrestling. Your thing should be Dora the Explorer. You should be sitting there watching them go, "Come on, vamonos."
So,
fuck.
What I was going to say was, how about this going forward for Kalisto? Since this appears to be the next year of his career, why not capitalize on it now and break up the Lucha Dragons and have Sin Cara turn on?
I think that would be a good feud, having Sin Cara turn heel and take the United States Championship from Kalisto.
Or could it just try to take it and then now he's like, oh, my best friend has even stabbed me in the back for it. Like,
No, but it has to be. He has to take the title.
I think
Because it has to-
I think if they would do that, it'd be have the best to have it do it just suddenly, like at least like Sin Cara's there with him after he beats like Ryback or somebody like that, whatever his next challenger is, and then as they're standing together doing the thing, lucha, bap.
It's a shame though, because I think as a tag team they're very credible. They could be tag team champions at some point. That's another thing that they could do if they want to further the tension between Kalisto and Sin Cara, is have them win the tag titles together. Do it like a lost.
Have them lose the tag team titles.
Yes, and do it kind of like the Los Guerreros storyline where Sin Cara is trying to help him and stuff, and then he ends up losing. Kalisto gets pinned. And then Sin Cara comes in and beats the living shit out of him.
Yeah, I like better where it just turns on him. He's just like, no, it's my opportunity to whatever. So we are 2-1 going Kalisto. Obviously, I'm going Rusev.
I'm going Kalisto.
Going Rusev. Nick is going Rusev as well. So 2-1 Rusev. We will see how that match turns out. Match number 2.
Ziggler Corbin.
Ziggler Corbin, which I'm surprised.
No DQ.
No DQ. This will absolutely probably be on the pre show.
He's here to put you over. He's here to put you over. Come on!
Oh, just do exactly as he says.
Don.
He'll bump for your finisher real nice. Anyway, Ziggler versus Corbin. Obviously, Burhan going because he's joined in my musical interlude. We're obviously going big banter all the way.
Yep, Corbin.
Yes.
Corbin.
It's a
Baron Corbin. Yeah, definitely.
Big banter himself, Baron Corbin. Yeah, welcome to the show, kid. There you go. Here's your chance. It's what you do from here. I wouldn't be surprised if after he beats Dolph Ziggler for this match, Baron Corbin is maybe in a qualifier for or a potential participant in Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah, that was probably going to happen. We're going to probably see Dolph in the same position, just so that he can basically steal that away from him. So he won't win it, but he'll make sure that Corbin doesn't win it.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that.
Shenanigans
And chicanery and tomfoolery. Abound. Match
isn't
numero
he though? And Corbin's still a bit green.
A bit, but I think that's what he's a bit green. I just think he's learned all he's got to learn in NXT.
Yeah.
So he's going to go out and practice what he's learned in NXT on a bigger stage.
And they've put him with the guy who's going to make him look real fucking good.
Exactly.
Because Ziggler can bump like a madman.
Exactly.
Ziggler can sell a sneeze. I could love to see him sneeze. He'll probably jump over the ropes, head into the crowd.
He's going to go fuck this shit on the tree on him, like for real.
Yes.
Exactly.
He is going to eat that fucking end of days, and it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. So match number 3 of the evening.
So I'm kind of bouncing around here. Fatal 4-way match, Intercontinental title, Miz, Owens, Cesaro, Sami Zayn. By the way, the GoFundMe for the Fort McMurray fire started by Owens and Breeze.
Yeah.
Go.
They're both Canada boys.
Yep, I donated to that.
Evil men with good hearts.
Yes.
Evil men with good hearts, exactly.
So,
yeah, our thoughts to go out all of those people that are affected by that.
It's
fucked up.
shitty. I mean, it's like,
yeah, no one wants to live through that sort of disaster.
And if you hate Kevin Owens, you like him, it really doesn't matter. You have to fucking respect him for this. I mean,
especially if he's blocked you on Twitter.
There is talk that the boss himself is quite high on Kevin Owens right now, and a main event push could be in the works. I've always said Kevin Owens is also, I mean, if Roman Reigns was going to be a face, Kevin Owens would have been the perfect heel to it because
I can see our next MITB winner being Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
I might have to join you. I'm going to wait to see if he's in the match, but If I'm looking like you, I'm going the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the moment Vince McMahon's very high on him. The guy is extremely talented in the ring, on the mic. He's probably.
Could you believe we could be 6 months away, realistically, if this happens, from Kevin Owens being a WWE champion?
And probably the most dominant WWE heel champion that we have for a while.
I'm thinking that in my head. Kevin Owens is going to be your WWE champion at some point in time, potentially, maybe.
And somewhere, bro, Vince Russo is losing his mind, bro.
And somewhere, Jim Cornette will probably have a heart attack when that happens.
And Vince Russo will probably sit there and go, bro.
I knew all along he was going to make it, bro. I was trying to tell him not to motivate him,
bro.
Oh,
God. Yeah, Russo will do a fucking 180 and be like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah.
So, bro.
Let's get before this turns into a brocast, but I'm picking Miz. I think that...
Shenanigans.
Yeah, it's going to be shenanigans. It's going to be...
Maurice shenanigans. Maurice-related shenanigans will...
Maurice.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling her. She's Maurice. Because a certain former UFC fighter called her Maurice, so that's what I'm going to call her.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't see it. I don't see the stock in the Miz. I think putting a championship.
You don't see why the Miz has a supermodel wife. No, I sometimes don't see it either. But then I still
do you know what the most funniest thing? If you hadn't checked it out on Raw, where Owens was talking to Maurice in French,
yes.
slagging off the Miz. I just sat there and I died. That was the highlight of this entire Raw, was literally just that moment where she's sitting there on commentary and the Miz is trying to trash talk him, and he starts talking to her in French.
Yeah, I don't know how that's what he said. I heard he said her name is...
He was trashing her husband, yeah, in French.
Great. That is so great. I would have loved... That would have been so great if they just started arguing in French. They had to mute both their mics. They start screaming over Cole and Saxton, and it's coming through their mics too.
It's one of those things where I love it.
She's currently reaching over me trying to hit him. Help me, Michael.
Help me, Michael.
Oh my God, these...
Byron, what are you doing over there? Byron, help me! Go over there and hit Byron, damn it!
Yeah.
Oh Lord! But this is the thing. This is why I think there's a lot of talent in Kevin Owens. There's a lot of stock. I do see, in my opinion, my honest opinion here, him recapturing the Intercontinental Championship just so they can do a nice feud between him and Sami Zayn over the belt before he moves up. And I can see Sami eventually winning that title from Owens. I can see taking the title for a couple of months.
I like how you're thinking. I can see the same way. Owens wins the Intercontinental title this week. This was Sunday, then goes on to win Money in the Bank, then at some point in time in the near future, loses the Intercontinental title, and then on the same night that he loses the Intercontinental title, cashes in Money in the Bank.
Yeah. So he basically he doesn't need that championship anymore. I think, and I could even see him cut a promo saying, the reason why I lost the Intercontinental title, because I didn't need it anymore.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I'd say, Maurice will end up being a non-factor, and somehow... I'm going to say Owens he beats Miz. Bottom line, he's the one. Miz gets pinned. Owens takes the title. Owens ends up in the Money in the Bank match by virtue of him being the Intercontinental Champion. Wins that. Then all of a sudden, whoever's the champion at the end of SummerSlam, probably, I'm kind of banking on Seth Rollins. Owens drops the Intercontinental title to Sami Zayn in Brooklyn. All of a sudden, you have this big moment. Seth comes back, the conquering hero, never lost his title, wins it. Bada bing, bada boom. Owens, 1, 2, 3. Vince Russo's head fucking explodes.
We have Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins feud for the WWE title going into.
Yes. We have a bonus of, Kevin Owens winning the WWE Championship, Vince Russo having a heart attack and possibly never speaking about wrestling ever again.
I'm down.
Hopefully, it leaves him as a deaf, dumb mute. I don't mind that. Maybe having a stroke.
I'm down.
Like sweet zombie Linda.
And, and then the Vince Russo will have to find a way to actually trash people being a dumb, deaf mute with a heart condition. Maybe he'll get one of those little computer things like, Stephen Hawking has. He'll be like, Seth Rollins is a piece of shit. Bro. You know, something like that.
You don't know. Bro, you do not know what you're talking about.
Bro.
Oh my god.
This is my brand, bro.
Bro, Generation X was totally my idea.
Bro.
This fucking
Bro. The key gets stopped. Bro.
And the NWO. Oh.
Yeah, baby, yeah. But I'm banking on Owens. So I'm banking on him for the Intercontinental title win. I don't see this Miz and Morris thing lasting any longer. I think the reason why they gave him the championship was to kind of highlight Morris, Kevin, whatever you want to call her, and give her that whole boost so that they're going on to Total Divas.
Yep.
But I think afterwards it's going to be gone. Miz is going to do another shitty WWE movie and claim that he's the best actor in the world. And then, Kevin Owens actually does the real wrestling and has a slobber knocker or two with Sami Zayn over that championship before losing that championship to him and claiming the Money in the Bank as his own. Bank on that. WWE Creative, if you're going to do it, if you're going to steal my idea, just, leave a little footnote saying
we know you listen to this show.
They do.
It's been proven. It's been proven. They've gone with things like Shane McMahon.
Great minds think alike. That's what I'm saying.
I know. I'll take my job at WWE Creative anytime now, gentlemen. Anytime.
I might just send me a royalty check, please.
No, I'll just take a job. I'll prove myself. I'm like the guy. Did I ever tell you the story about the guy that was had the rights to the Last Outlaw character? That was his character on the independent circuit that he did for a while. WWE wanted the name because they wanted to sell Last Outlaw shirts with The Undertaker. I think it was when they were in Arizona for WrestleMania. It was the Shawn Michaels WrestleMania, I think.
Yes.
Or maybe it was the in New York, I think. I don't remember. It was one of those WrestleManias. I can't remember which. This guy had owned this trademark, and WWE was trying to buy it from him. They were offered him $50,000. He politely declined because he still, in his head of heads, thought that he could make it to the WWE. And he said, I will take this amount of money, and I will like a contract as well to work whatever your minimum employee contract is. They were just like, well, we're not really interested in you in that regard. We would really advise you that we take this offer that we're giving to you. We offered him a slightly better offer. And he's just like, well, no, I'll take this amount of money and then a contract and then for nothing. And then they bought it for him because they wanted to do the T-shirts. And basically the guy worked there for about a month or whatever his...
And then they fired him.
Whatever the minimum time they could go without... They could have him on the roster before they could fire him. And they let him go. And they probably got this for probably got something that they could have got for $50,000 to $60,000. They probably got it for $20,000 and whatever they had to pay that guy in wages for a month.
Wow.
$2,500, maybe $2,100. Yeah, $22,000. Yeah, something like that. So
all right, let's see here.
Pro wrestling cautionary tales. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. All right, Dean. We're in the agreement. Owens.
Yeah, Owens is going to win this match, I think. That's who I want to win. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there is Maurice-related shenanigans.
Right.
I do want Kevin Owens to win.
I could see the shenanigans. I can see them keeping the title on Miz, but I'm just... Because, again, looking forward how you could set everything up, what makes the most sense, at least to me, is Owens.
The thing is, as well, if you look at it, has Miz's title run for the IC title been memorable? No.
No,
he's gotten out of it with the skin of his teeth.
He beat Zack Ryder the next night after Ryder won at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and people hated it. And the truth is, I think Miz's best days are behind him. And I hate to say it. I know a lot of people, I'm going to probably get people who love The Miz hate on me for saying this. But ever since they buried him from, with The Rock and Cena, and then they buried the Awesome Truth, which was a great tag team that they had going on. Mm-hmm. He's been meaningless. He's been an ancillary character that they use just to get someone else over. That's it.
He's been what I call, if it's a pitching rotation guy, he's a 3 or 4 guy at best. Like,
Yeah.
he's not your ace. He's not your number 2 guy. At best, he's a 3. At worst, he's like a 5. A 5 is like a guy, like a jobber type.
Right. He's a utility player. He's someone
player.
Yeah,
exactly.
that he can go in when they need him, and
They're not going to build the show around him, but they can build a segment around him.
They
where
can build a story around him over a title or whatever it may be.
And he is a good heel because his heel work is, really good. He does have a good heel character. The whole "I'm better than you because I'm from Hollywood," which sort of kind of the same gimmick I used to do. So it gets heat. He does have a beautiful
It does,
wife.
but I don't think it gets the heat that they want. And the problem is, I don't see him as
Do you see people are more apathetic to him than they actually hate
I think they understand he's a good worker, and don't get me wrong, he's vastly
He's come a long
improved.
way.
Yeah.
He's come a long way, or at least
He
now
has.
knows.
But I think the gimmick that he's got is run dry, and I think as a worker, there's not really much else he can do in the WWE. The whole "I'm Hollywood" and all the snap bullshit, it doesn't get you anywhere because people, most of the actors nowadays try to be, even though it doesn't work, a lot of them try to be very apathetic, very human. No actor sits there and goes, "I'm this, I'm that, I need to get everything, you need to give me free shit." If he was a YouTuber, maybe, but, I know.
Let's not go down that road.
Shots fired, motherfuckers. But,
let's not go down that road.
Or like a musician, that'd be fine, but he's the Miz, and he's like, what he's doing doesn't work. And I think they know that it doesn't work. I do think he'll be part of
anything else better for him character-wise.
Pretty much. And the thing is, I think he's going to end up losing the IC title, and then Maurice is going to do Total Divas, and we probably won't see the Miz for a while.
Yeah.
He'll probably be hosting Miz TV at some point.
If only there was like some sort of stunt double gimmick they could come up with that would get people to care about him.
Yeah, and that's another thing. He seems to be the guy where if it's going great, they then cut his legs off from under him. When it's going bad, they seem to prolong it like it's water torture. I don't understand it. It's like it's like WWE's Guantanamo booking. I have no reason why they do it to him, but they seem to be doing it to him. And does he deserve better? Yes. But is he really boring as shit right now? Yes, he is. And I really don't care about him. I don't care about his character. I don't care about the fact that he's got a hot wife. I have a hot girlfriend. I'm fine with that. She doesn't speak French, but I'm fine with that too. Now, it's one of those things where I look at it and go, oh, look, there's the woman who held the butterfly wing title that was so fucking irrelevant. It was unbelievable. And she couldn't wrestle a lick. Yay. Great.
She could wrestle, just it was in short bursts.
Yeah, she wasn't a...
Most of her time in the ring was her posing. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. And I think with Maurice, she brings back that whole semblance of when divas were known for their looks rather than their talent.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at a load of like JR's podcasts and stuff and listening to what most guys the general consensus was on her and also about The Miz was they both should be managing something else, which is a top tier talent. Maurice is a good manager, but she's not, as you can tell with the way she's helping The Miz, but she's not somebody who should be in the ring wrestling someone else.
Right,
and I think the same could be said about The Miz at the moment, where I think his best days as a wrestler are behind him.
Yep. I mean, when you're put in an afterthought position in the main event of WrestleMania, you're the champion. Yeah, there's.
And you know what? He can sit there and say, "I beat John Cena at WrestleMania." You did do that.
Yeah,
but it was the most shittiest WrestleMania.
Oh, that was a bad WrestleMania. He was the afterthought. We had Jerry Lawler versus Michael Cole. And
I used that WrestleMania as a WrestleMania to get one of my friends back into wrestling. Oh, how stupid was I?
Mm-hmm.
He came out of it going, that was terrible. What the fuck was that main event? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I feel sorry for The Miz. And I sat there and went, yeah, I kind of do too. Then they did the whole Awesome Truth booking thing and then shit canned that when that was going well. It was like, what are you going to do?
The only saving grace about that Mania was Taker Triple H.
Yeah. Which I liked it, but I felt that it went overboard for the point of being overboard because it's the only way they could have gone. in terms of the booking. It had to have that kind of finality to it. But yeah, so I don't see the Miz holding the Intercontinental Championship. I see him losing it, and I see him going back into kind of obscurity in a sense, and just coming out in short bursts to, probably wrestle an odd match to put some guy over. Yeah. But that's it.
So, next match of the night?
Ambrose Jericho Asylum match.
Yeah, this has been a interesting bit of creative, again.
Very the moment cheeky. When you realize a light-up jacket and a potted plant are more over than your WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
No, not even that. This is what that feud has been built around. They've built a semi-main event feud around a potted plant and a jacket.
Well, I will say this: the jacket was very nice, and even though the fact that Jericho stole that jacket from Xavier Woods,
who stole it from Finn Balor.
And he basically, the pot plant, who I heard is being offered a 6-figure deal with TNA to change his name.
Deal. It's a multi-year deal.
It's a multi-year deal. And I heard Dixie is very pleased and is looking at putting the title on the plant at some point, being the next great TNA champion. And I heard with the deal, it's probably going to have a Hall of Fame entry for TNA's Hall of Fame as well. So,
well, here's the thing: is the plant. Dixie doesn't know her ass from the hole in the ground, and the plant's ass is a hole in the ground.
Next big thing, Brandon. Next big thing. Just think about it.
There was a hole in the ground. Sorry, R.I.P. Mitch. What is dead may never die.
Hey, Mitch was taken to a local medical facility. He's moved on to greener pastures.
No.
But
hashtag bad joke Burhan. Hashtag.
He's gonna end up basically getting taken out by like 5 gophers.
All right, enough.
Yeah, we're just beating this shit, right?
You're beating this segment to death.
Do you think
it's already dead?
Do you think his finisher is going to be called the Weed Killer?
Oh, God.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay,
but yeah, the Ambrose Asylum, I think in regards to the match, it does favour Dean Ambrose, so I'm going to go with Chris Jericho.
Wow.
I'm gonna go Ambrose at this point. I mean, I don't think they did all this to just have Jericho go over.
Yeah, this
feud is gonna keep going. I think this is just like really just.
It's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep. They're gonna trade.
This needs to be a final. It's finality. Like here, this needs to be the final match between these guys. Ambrose needs to move on. Now, could you put these two guys in the Money in the Bank match? Yeah, it's possible, and you can kind of. But I think Ambrose needs a big win on pay-per-view, and this will be it. This is his match. I know, and the logic, it's Ambrose's match, so Jericho's got to win, but, yeah.
I think Ambrose wins because Jericho is going to take some time to do his other ventures, Fozzy, and whatever else he does in his not WWE time. So, Ambrose wins. This is just going to be a really interesting match. It's basically just like or this could be really bad. This could be like a kennel match. Like
the Kennel from Hell, kind of.
The Kennel from Hell match?
No, yeah. I think it's going to be... They've almost kind of pulled an idea from TNA with Lethal Lockdown, only minus the top of the cage. It's just, we're going to hang shit above the cage, and these guys are going to use it to beat the piss out of each other. So...
I look forward to this match taking place in WWE 2K16 or 2K17,
which I can't wait for. Can we please get an edition of 2K17 with face fuck me Finn girl on the cover?
Yo, don't even get me started.
She needs to be the new WWE Women's Champion.
Don't even get started, okay?
All I'm saying is, right, when it comes to it, I think he's going to win the match so that he has bragging rights against Ambrose to say, I beat you in your own match. That's me. That's what I think, and I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's going to happen, and then the next match that they have, Ambrose will win, and that'll be the final match for Jericho before he disappears into obscurity again, and goes and does things with his band known as Fozzie Bear, and the rest of the Muppets.
Anyway, next match.
Tag titles, Vaudevillains versus the New Day.
Yeah, I think this match was supposed to be Enzo and Big Cass, but due to circumstances beyond...
Actually, you're wrong. They're saying Dudley interference, it was going to be the Vaudevillains all along. But I don't think they're going to be rewarded for what happened to Enzo, so I'm saying New Day rocks.
Yep.
Yeah,
New Day on Raw with the fucking time machine win.
Yeah, I know. Just when you begin to might have lose faith that, all right, there's no way they can top a giant box of cereal and Super Saiyan armor. They come out with a refrigerator box time machine, and Toby Kingston says 2009 was his best year, and he wants to be left there. And then the black and white segment that they got later on, absolutely fantastic. I love the fact that they shoot the Vaudevillains promos in black and white. I always it would have, I'd like it to have grainy film look to it. Like you're on old Nickelodeon and the guy's cranking a picture.
Yeah.
I think the Vaudevillains have a good gimmick going on currently, and that they would be. It looks like it's going to have some activity.
Let's hope they don't get lost in the fray like the Ascension, but I think. Do we want to talk about that? Do we want to talk about that? How fucking bad that was? Because that was fucking terrible.
Well, that's because Vince McMahon decided to try and package them as Animal and Hawk, the Legion of Doom 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the Ascension. I was talking about Shining Stars.
Oh jeez.
You mean the guys who are the only ones to seem to have any build, and it's a pointless build because it makes no fucking sense.
They're guys that come out with shirts and no pants. I mean, I don't.
And the fact that Puerto Rico's in 70 billion in debt.
This angle needs about as much help as Puerto Rico needs to bail out. This is bad.
Yeah, you said it fell flat, and I'm like, oh no.
Oh, it died.
Just let Puerto Rico go bankrupt, America. Come on.
It died a terrible.
It did. And as far as I'm concerned, I think they're a very credible tag team.
I feel bad for Epico and Primo for getting saddled with such back-to-back terrible creative.
Yeah, it's like they left him off TV for 5-6 months, whatever it was, and then all of a sudden...
They made the best they could with the Matadors. That got over for a little bit because they had the little mascot or whatever.
El Torino.
And then it just died.
Yeah.
Died.
I totally agree. It died a painful death. I don't get what they're doing.
Oh, painful death.
I don't get what they're doing with it. And the fact they were sitting there going on about Puerto Rico, I just sat there and went, this makes no fucking sense, but okay. And then they debuted, and they had them. They did the right thing by having them face a couple of jobbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no-name guys from North Carolina.
Yeah, and we got to see some talent in the
good
ring.
For them.
They are
good for them. Good for those guys.
Yep.
They are really good workers, but in the same sense, I think the WWE needs to actually look at these gimmicks and think, who is the fucking idiot that keeps coming up with this shit? And then allow these guys to do their thing. I think there's a difference between the right way of debuting someone and the wrong way. The right way, look at Carl Anderson and freaking...
Luke Gallows.
Luke Gallows.
Yeah.
Right, Duck Gallows, Luke Gallows, whatever you want to call him, we'll go with Luke Gallows because that's what he is.
We're calling
boom!
They've done it right because, again, Bullet Club is over. And there's no way they could, ever fuck that up. Ever. There's no way. Yeah,
and destroy someone, and then come in and basically go in there like this, because the build's been horrible, the team's been... The way they debuted was horrible. I just hope we can kind of make this a distant memory and just let these guys freaking work. That would be nice. Just let them work. Because obviously you can't really do anything else with them apart from that. And I really do want to know what they've got on Vince McMahon. The fact these guys have actually resisted the roster cuts.
Because I think they need they have a heritage.
Mm-hmm.
And
and also I think Vince probably owes their dad like money or something.
He owes Carlos Colon to debt.
Yeah. So Carlos is like, Carlos can I release them yet? No. But I released Collie. You've got.
He has some like unforeseen, video or something like that. Maybe
You're only allowed to release one cologne. You get a pass. You get a pass by releasing one cologne. The other two have to stay.
Yeah, the other two have to stay and do your bidding.
Yes. So, but kudos to them for trying to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
much longer they could really get out of that, but yeah.
New Day
are taking this.
All right, so submission match, WWE Women's title. If Ric Flair disregards his ban from ringside, Charlotte will lose the belt. And quickly, before we go into that, get well soon, Emma, since we didn't bring it up before.
Yes.
Successful back surgery.
Successful back surgery, so she hopefully should be back in the ring at some point. When it comes to back injuries, they're just as severe as neck injuries. It could end up losing someone's career or something like that. But in the end, I feel bad because she made her way back to the main roster from NXT.
They put Dana Brooke with her, and then it's like, bam. Fuck!
Am I the only one who thinks Dana Brooke should not be nowhere near the main roster?
You are the only one on the show, yes, because I don't want to speak for Nick, but I think Dana Brooke can do well. And there's not really a whole lot of... Yes, I am saying this, like, I think she could do well if given the chance. I think this was a chance to have her do it, but hopefully she doesn't just fade into the background.
Right, because Emma's now going to be gone for however long, so I'm hoping that now she can... It would be.
Did you not see her match with Becky Lynch? Because that was terrible.
No, I think that she needs to work with... In an NXT, like, outside of Bayley and Asuka, there really isn't much
exactly
as far as high level. So get her on
exactly what I'm going to say. Bring her up to the main roster and have her work the talent up there. Would see her progress much better than down in NXT where she's all limited to do basically being fodder for two people.
Yeah. Or she could be another Rosa Mendez, or
no, because you can't just make every female wrestler a manager. You have to actually let some of them wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
So, or you could be like another. What was her name? Who's a redhead? I forgot what her name was from Total Divas.
Eva Marie.
Oh, that's it. The forgettable one.
How could you forget a face and body like that? I have no idea.
Already.
She looks like a Skittle. Just saying.
Anyway.
I'm picking Charlotte in this.
Yeah, this again. I wanted to say this was the go home segment. This was the closing segment on a go home Raw.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
2016, people. 2016. It's the future.
They tried to emulate...
Charlotte will be featured in her 11th straight pay-per-view.
That's a record too.
And they tried to emulate the Sasha Banks Bayley feel at the end of an NXT show. I didn't like this, and there's a reason why. I felt it was too much. It was really showy, and it dragged a little bit. I did like Stephanie McMahon slapping the taste out of Ric Flair's mouth, because that's what Flair's utilized in, being the guy who gets smacked around by people.
That's what he's been his entire career when you really look at it. I mean, he really never did a whole lot of impressive offensive maneuvers. He was the guy that got beat up upon for...
But he's a card-carrying heel, though. That's what you do. In the old school days of being a heel, you were the guy who would take bumps from the face. The face would throw you around like you were fucking like Dolph Ziggler.
He's the greatest of all time. I honestly
do. Mm-hmm. And I can see the issues being here. I see Charlotte retaining.
Yep.
Just because I don't see her losing the title to Natty anytime soon.
No, I don't. Here's the thing. I don't see taking Natalya out of that sentence. I don't see Charlotte losing the women's title anytime soon. Period.
I think she will. I think she will. But I think it will be a bigger deal, and I think it will be in a match against the one, the only, the boss.
Yes.
WrestleMania. That's all I'm saying.
I don't
it's
think
not going to be me. It's going to be.
They won't give her that long a run, and the reason being is she's good, but she's not great.
What's Nikki Bella's Divas title reign at?
Oh God, that title again?
Wow.
Can we forget that title ever existed?
No, I'm just saying, the lineage of this belt does directly descend from that belt, so it is a factual statistic. That's all I'm saying. Whatever that amount of days is, plus the amount of days to WrestleMania. Charlotte is not losing that title before WrestleMania. Bold speaking prediction, I'm making it on this show.
Well, okay. Well,
I'd say it's going to be SummerSlam. Sasha hasn't been on TV. I'd say she's going to pop up here in the next few weeks, and she's going to challenge Charlotte. You know, you have the whole storyline there. She lost the NXT Women's title in Brooklyn to Bayley, and this is going to be her redemption. So,
I like the way you tell stories. I just think this is better. This is the WrestleMania storyline, not the SummerSlam storyline. We spend the next year building Charlotte up as the heel of that division. Nobody else would have her avoid Sasha, have her avoid people like Becky, and then maybe she goes after Becky first, and that's that, and then she can't avoid Sasha. Bam, bam.
Okay.
Now I'm saying, but Charlotte definitely wins this match.
Yep. Yeah, Charlotte, and then with that stipulation, Ric Flair does show up at ringside. Charlotte is losing the title.
Or we could see a situation happen where Ric Flair does show up at ringside, and then we can end up losing Ric Flair from Charlotte. And, she beats on her dad. Who knows?
No, I think that the two of them...
It sounds like Vince Russo booking, bro.
Quality, bro. Russo cast.
Bro.
Main event.
Main event of the evening. AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
You have to go WWE.
Oh wait, we did forget a match because this did just get added. By the way, before we get into that, Usos versus Bullet Club. I'm calling Bullet Club.
That's right.
Whether you want them, like it to or not.
Bullet Club.
By the way, I will say the club is.
It's not the worst name. It's not
sounds
the
like
worst
a sand.
name.
It does.
It's not the worst name they could have given them though. They think of this. They could have gone with Ammunition Alliance.
Oh my god.
I mean, like, this is, I'll do the club, but, it's still Bullet Club to me, man. Bullet Club for life.
It's still real to you, damn it.
It is still, and it's still the Bomaye to me, too, by the way. I don't know. I love Corey Graves selling the Kinshasa, but still the Bomaye, damn it.
Yes.
Alright, this match going forward will be your main event of the night, and it will steal the show. So we're all going to go with Bullet Club in the Usos Bullet Club match.
They'll destroy the Usos, in my opinion.
All right, cool. We're all in agreement of that. I think this match is a no disqualification or some sort of street fight or something like that.
I think
so.
It's
it was just announced earlier today, I think. So
let me refresh the Wikipedia because it should be up. Let's see.
Maybe.
Nope. I don't see it, so it did just get announced.
It did.
Yeah, Gallows and Anderson, I'm sorry. Yeah, Gallows and Anderson, where there's no question that...
Tonight on SmackDown, I think is what gets announced. Indeed. Shallow and pedantic. So yeah, AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns for the WWE title.
Oh, man, this is...
Like, again, I want AJ Styles to win the title. That would be a great moment. But
I'm the same.
We are in a new era, the Roman Reigns era. Roman Reigns wins.
I want to see. Yeah, Roman wins. Laugh out loud. I'm gonna have to go with the same thing. Roman wins by interference of Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, and they win. And unify to make a new stable under Roman. The Usos get the living shit beaten out of them as they try to come in and find out what the hell's going on, or they come in the next night and find out what the hell's going on and then get beaten the crap out of. I see this as a big heel turn for Roman and the Bull Twins.
Shady face McPeter nuts.
Yes.
That's what Carl Anderson looks like when he doesn't have a full beard.
But I think that's what's going to happen, and I 110% believe that will happen. But saying that, if AJ does win, I'm going to fucking pop like a fucking nutcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be nobody who would deserve a chance with that title more than AJ Styles, I think.
Yeah.
But I just don't see that happening right now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Barring an injury to Roman Reigns and where it's like the WWE turns its weary head to AJ Styles to lead them, that's just not going to happen. Then again, AJ Styles will be the first person to hold the WWE title and the IWGP title in the same year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's hope if the WWE are smart, it would go to AJ. If we have to deal with the Roman thing, I think Roman turns heel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Roman's going to turn heel. I just think that's going to happen and people are going to boo.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
he's
don't
not
see
the
that
good guy.
I don't see that
Not
as a
bad
heel turn, though.
guy.
Because again, like they were in places like Nebraska and in the Midwest where there was at least 50-50 people saying, let's go Roman, let's go AJ. You know,
You sure there weren't plants?
I'm pretty sure there's about to be a lot of plants, and they have to
But
find
you know
a lot
what?
of
Those people could have had ramen noodles in their hands and said, let's go ramen.
No. They were chanting, let's go Roman.
Let's go ramen, you're delicious.
Jesus.
Hashtag bad joke for Burhan.
Thank you. I do try.
You try, and you fail so miserably.
If you're going to fail, fail beautifully.
You fail gloriously so.
Thank you.
All right.
I like the mushroom cloud of flesh.
You
But
are.
yeah, I think either way it's going to go. It's either way we're in for a very intriguing storyline, in my opinion.
I think so too. I think we haven't seen the end of it yet. I think they're going to keep it going forward. At least one more pay-per-view. I think AJ's going to have to earn a shot. But
Yeah, but I do believe this feud has legs.
yeah.
Yep.
So that's why it's going to keep going. AJ Styles and the Bullet Club against the Bloodline, which is a lot better name than calling it the Family. Much better.
I call them the ball sacks, but that's me.
Yeah. So that's our pay-per-view thoughts. We hope you enjoy that pay-per-view this Sunday, no matter where you are.
Believe that?
Yeah, believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I will say this. Let us know what your thoughts are. If you go to our lovely little forum.
Yes, thank you, Burhan.
Yep.
Yes.
Save the show.
Facebook.com/Wrestle MMA Revolution. It's a lovely little Facebook group. There will
I think a little MMA news, by the way, just kind of broke. Congratulations to Stipe Miocic, who is the new UFC heavyweight champion. Completely ended the long-awaited reign of Fabricio Verdum. Came to a glaring and thunderous halt in Brazil. It was kind of a mixed night for Brazil, by the way. Not to cut you off, Burhan, but congrats to Stipe Miocic, the new world heavyweight champion of UFC. Also, there was the debut of debuts. It finally happened. Chris Cyborg made her much anticipated UFC debut, completely destroying Leslie Smith. Well, I hope Leslie Smith got very well compensated for her work that evening, because that's just brutal. That's a sacrificial lamb right there.
Did they say, like, with CM Punk, because there's issues going on in terms of him in the UFC at the moment? This is a wrestler.
This is a wrestling MMA podcast. We are getting to the MMA closing portion of the podcast. There was Meltzer. Lord Meltzer himself has pronounced that there is growing doubt among the training camp and MMA professionals that have watched CM Punk train that he is competent enough to hold his own in the ring, in the octagon, whenever his fight with Mickey Gall takes place. I don't know if that's just them underselling him to try and, lower expectations possible. So maybe when he's bad, at least he's not that bad, kind of thing. Or this really is the truth, and CM Punk may have made the worst mistake of his professional career. I mean, maybe not worst mistake, because this is something he has always wanted to do. I'm not gonna hold that against him. Feel more power to him. Go for it. But this could be bad.
Yeah,
really.
and the thing is, though, I don't think Punk really cares at this point.
No, because he's invested the time,
Yeah,
and effort into this. This is something he's always wanted to do, and if he loses, he loses. But there are some that would even doubt whether or not he'll even take place. Because again, Cain Velasquez had the same surgery around the same time that Punk did, and Cain Velasquez fought on not the fight card that was this weekend, 2 weeks before that. So.
well, the way I see it is this. In terms of Punk's health, I did say when the story broke about Punk joining up with UFC, that I didn't understand the reason behind it because he seems too banged up from his wrestling days to even compete.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like it's coming into fruition, and that looks like that's exactly what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
But
for all that. Okay.
Yeah, in terms of Punk, let's wish him best in his future endeavors and whatever he decides to do. If he still continues in MMA, or if he goes on to whatever else he has, he's a damn talented guy who can probably do whatever he sets his mind to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's still got his gorgeous wife.
Yeah, also there's been
money,
pictures of Dan White and Conor McGregor being all huggy, buddy. So maybe that acrimony is over with, and we will finally have Conor McGregor fighting somebody someplace. Hopefully, maybe
sometime, somewhere, some love.
Sometime very soon, maybe even November.
Did you guys talk about last week about the possible sale of UFC from Zappa to...
All rumor.
It's all rumor. I don't think Zuffa's gonna I don't think Zuffa's actually gonna cash out. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they go public too, and have a huge IPO, just like WWE did, and cash out that way. Become a publicly traded company, just like everybody else. But that's just me wildly speculating. I think that will be a family-run business. They'll just pass that along, and maybe they'll get some outside foreign investors in the future. But I just think the Fertittas and Dana White are going to try and control that. Dana White's going to be their hype man, their front man, but the Fertittas are going to try and manage that for as much as they can, unless somebody comes in and offers them, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions with a B, maybe.
I heard that's the figures that they're looking at the moment, but again, it's all rumor, as you said. So we'll see what happens and see how it goes.
Unless it's going to be some again. So it's like you said. There's always that possibility of crazy Arabian Sheikh money just coming into the UFC and just that be buying it out. But speaking of crazy Arabian Sheikhs, Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Jim, I talked to him. I want to know, are you the man or are you a fucking piece of shit? No good motherfucker. Fucking bullshit! Bullshit, don't go.
How do you like that for a fucking segue, bitches? That is world-class segue work. World-class. I'm fucking proud of myself for that. Segue. So Iron Sheik tweet of the week. Iron Sheik came down on a surprising matter in a big sports story of the weekend, which was the conflict between the Texas Rangers' Rougned Odor and Joey Bats' Jose Batista. Everybody's seen videotape for now, but Iron Sheik took, I thought, a very interesting position on this. Odor, brother, you eat the cheap heat today. You lucky I don't break your back and neck and jaw and make you humble. I love the Batista forever. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your Iron Sheik tweet of the week. Also, we have an Intelligent Jew update, too, by the way. I don't know. I have to play that fucking bullshit. Following people have now been updated to the Intelligent Jew list. Update your list accordingly. Max Scherzer, now from the Washington Nationals, is now Intelligent Jew. And an actual Intelligent Jew on the Intelligent Jew list, Morley Safer, Intelligent Jew.
He's a very intelligent Jew, I agree.
A very intelligent Jew, I would agree, yes. So that, ladies and gentlemen, are your Iron Sheik tweets of the week. And your Intelligent Jew.
Fucking bullshit!
I think we should call it Intelligent Jew Update. That's just a
Intelligent Jew!
Great title for the podcast to get heat. Intelligent Jew Update.
Or we can just say it's sponsored by Brazzers again and probably get like 1 million hits.
Oh, Jesus.
Or sued, one or the other.
Something like that.
Sponsored by Intelligent Jews for Intelligent Jews.
Well, this podcast, we haven't done in a while, but this podcast is sponsored by Bootios. Yes, Bootios. They make sure you ain't booty. We do like to plug ourselves sometimes, too. So, Nick, get some plugs.
Yeah, I'm over on YouTube at the Gaming Pegasus 187, Twitter, Gaming Pegasus 187, Facebook, Nick Horaceck, Instagram, Xbox Live, Wii U, Pegasus 187, PSN, The Extreme Enigma, Supercard, Pegasus 187. Fusions come this week, so let the fucking fun begin.
Awesome. Yes. Burhan, are you working on anything, or are you're that engaged?
Okay, I'm basically been dealing with dad life at the moment in terms of being a father with children. I am going back into getting things done because I had to put a huge ton of things on hold, and life has been quite a storm.
This is actually the first time. I'm trying to think of the last time you've been on the pod.
I think I was on probably 3 months ago.
Mania? Were you on the Mania special?
I think I was on before that.
The pre-Mania special, because I think the
pre-Mania special.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's been hectic. I am looking at things to do currently because I want to basically get back to doing what I love doing. I enjoy being on these podcasts. I love acting, directing, and doing all my other stuff. And it's just kind of hard getting things done. I am setting up a new green screen room where I'm going to be putting my camera on. I'm going to try and shoot videos in 2K. 2.5K, and basically get back to editing again because I had my laptop overhauled by the lovely people at Dell. I have to admit, Dell, with their business guarantee, they will do everything and anything for you apart from blowjobs, which is a shame. But so they've repaired my laptop. Everything's all in working condition, so I'm going to do that. If you want to hit up for me, I've got a new video coming in the next couple of days. I did one previously talking about if YouTube reviewers. If you should listen to reviewers and people's ideas on videos, films, games, whatever, or if you should take it with a pinch of salt, check out my view on youtube.com/thenerd as I discuss stuff like that. I do vlogs every week, so you can check those out. I also do my own little reviews and bits and pieces on there too. And just watch this space. If you go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Michael Burhan Actor, that will give you the updates on my various projects. I do update it with my newest YouTube videos, and I also update it with other little bits and pieces. So I do apologize for those who want to see a lot more from me, but at the moment things are just manic. But there are things that are going to be happening, hopefully in the next couple of months, because I've got tons of plans, including getting married at some point. So, hey, there we go.
All right, so if you like me, you can follow me on the Twitter, @BrandonAllHope. I do Twitch streams. That's a Brando Calrissian 420 on the Twitch TV. You can go support independent wrestling because that's the core nature of this podcast. I started out in independent wrestling, and that's what got me interested in doing wrestling podcasts and whatever. So if you are a wrestling fan and you live on planet Earth, and there is like civilization, people that live around you, I guarantee you there is somebody nearby you within reasonable traveling distance with a professional wrestling dream and has a chance for you to watch what you love or what you like in the comfort of your hometown.
Yeah, I mean, Great Falls. Great Falls is getting another big-time wrestling show here June 2nd. Mick Foley, Tommy Dreamer, Billy Gunn, Chris Masters, and Brutus Beefcake. So, Yeah.
And also, you can check out various T-shirts from various independent wrestlers on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Shout out to my buddy Chris Caden, who just got his Pro Wrestling Tees out, so that's ProWrestlingTees.com/Chris Caden.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's, that's a guy who's campaigned in politics and done everything possible. Dare I even say pay for Twitter followers? I don't have knowledge of that, but,
I don't do that. I get people following me on Twitter for some weird reason. I'm actually on 570 followers now. Yeah, that's weird.
But it all boils down to supporting independent wrestling.
For independent wrestling, it's where you will see this sport, this entertainment medium in its purest, rawest form. And
you
will
never
just...
know. And you
could
never
be
know.
seeing the next big thing, man.
Yeah, exactly. The next person, the next big indie darling may debut in the WWE at some point. You may see the next...
could be seeing somebody on the way down, someone who is, just making the glop of glory in their career, so to speak. So, it's good. It's real. It's pure.
Exactly.
To support independent wrestling. So for everybody here at Slamcast, enjoy Extreme Rules this weekend. Enjoy whatever it is you're doing yourself this weekend. The weather is getting nice, so if you're going out and partying, stay safe and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I gotta head to work here in about an hour, so.
So all the good brothers.
I gotta get going.
Also, to you lovely people up there, before Brandon ends it, check out Ring of Honor. Check out NJPW. Because if you're interested in the club right now, you want to see where the roots come from.
Well, again, Bullet Club is a thing in 3 major companies, so you'll see Bullet Club in Ring of Honor too. So for Nick, for Michael Burhan, for Dave Wade, who wanted to be on the show but he couldn't, for Miguel Leon, who is diligently working in the IT field, I am Brandon Liggan saying go forth and spread beauty and light, peace, love, and huntiness. We out.